This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a man that has wrestled all over the world, all over the United States, including the Memphis territory, Texas territory. He's worked with The Godfather, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, a lot of stars, and he's going to give us a little glimpse of his career today and answer some fan questions. And if any fan tips today, it is going to go to Mr. Reggie B. Phine, who's looking strong as ever. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine, sir. How you doing today? I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, I'm doing just great. So since we're based in Canada, and I don't think you've wrestled much in Canada, you want to just give like a glimpse of everywhere you've wrestled or a little bit about your career for people that aren't familiar with it?
Okay, yes, man. I done been from USWA. Let me try to think of some of these organizations. USWA out of Memphis, CWA out of Memphis, Power Pro out of Memphis, World Class out of World Class was down in Dallas, I think. Man, my mind, I'm old now. I can't hardly think shit. World Class, yeah, I was in Dallas. WWF. I did a dog match once down in Tupelo, Mississippi for WCW, but they never did hit me back, so fuck them.
That was that a TV taping that you did?
Yes, sir. Yeah, WCW. Yeah, that was like, woo, I know 25 years ago. I think something like that, maybe longer. Maybe no, it was longer than that. I say about because Brickhouse, me and Brickhouse Brown went down. You know, we was tag team partners for a long, long time. Hey man, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Cause I feel a little. I'm not nervous because I've been doing this shit a long time. Do you mind I fire up this split?
No, I think the fans might like that.
What?
I said the fans might like that if you do. I am wearing my The Hannibal TV 420 sweater, so I'll fire one up too.
Damn. See, I got this loud.
Yeah. How is that stuff down in Texas?
It's good. It's good, but my daughter gave me that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't really care too much for them blunts, man. So I got a little bit over in the corner. See, I'm old school, see. I got to have the top papers, man. Fuck. I don't mean to cut our interview out, but I got to have top papers in my mind, man. But I'm listening, bro. I just got to, that blunt shit is something else.
So as far as your training for wrestling, who broke you into the business?
You remember a guy named Narvell Austin? You remember Narvell Austin? Him and Coco B. World was the PYTs back in the day, pretty young thing. That's when I got into the Memphis territory, and Brickhouse Brown was a big inspiration. You know, I sure miss my boy, but you know he gone home. But yeah.
So how was the training? Was it difficult? Did they stretch you, or was it pretty easy?
Shit. Excuse me, man. Damn, this shit good.
Don't die on us.
All right, man. Excuse me. You see, I'm old school, man. See, look what the old school guys use. See, look. You see that shit?
A bit higher. Okay, yeah.
Put their shit in a box, man. These young cats, they smoking this loud. This is what this damn blondie is right here, some loud. But I'm gonna be puffing on both of them. Yeah. So now, what you asked me, man? Shit, I forget.
If your training was like stiff, or did they stretch you, or was the training pretty easy?
It was so. Believe it or not, man, I got on the job training, bro. I didn't have to go to no school. I wound up going to school because when I first got into business down here in Memphis, and then I think it was CWA, 1989. Jerry Law, you know, he was over everything, and him and Jerry. And when I first got in the game, man, I won about 175 pounds. when I first got in the game. They started me off as a manager when I first really got in the door, but I really got in the game for taking, I was taking pictures and, filming Iceman, King Parson, and Brickhouse Brown, the Blackbirds. And then one of they manager named Harold Harris, he went to jail. When he went to jail for cocaine, drug possession, or something, Brickhouse went to Lawler, and Lawler told me, yeah, bring him on in as a manager. So I didn't really get no training. I got like on the job training. So it was like a whole lot of bullshit going on. I kind of peeped the game early, but I didn't peep it. You know what I'm saying? So I seen a whole lot of shit that I ain't supposed to see in the early part of the game, I think.
CJ Marshall says, straight to the chase, did you experience racism from either Jerry Lawler or Jerry Jarrett? And did you have any hopes of going to WWE when Jerry Jarrett was working with Vince?
Well, you know what, bro? What's his name again?
CJ Marshall.
CJ, let me tell you something, bro. That shit is real, man. That shit was so real in the early games of this shit, man. I done heard, oh, man, I don't even know where to start at, CJ. Let me pour my hat off, man. I'm going to get my little buzz on them. Let me pour my hat off, man. When I first got in this business, Jerry never said nothing out of it. I was scared of him. You know how you be intimidated when you're around certain people? He kind of reminded me a little bit of Vince McMahon when I first went to the WWF. They real intimidated, so you wanted to kind of like just stay out of their way. But Jerry Lawler is the one that really, really gave me a nice little push in this game, to get me over with. But all that prejudice, N-words, and all that shit, I heard a lot of that, man. And I was like, damn, did he really just say that? Do he supposed to say that, or how do that work? But I don't know if you know, man, but back in the day, 30-some years ago, it was a motherfucker, dude. Didn't nobody give a fuck if you were yellow, green, orange, black, white, or what. Only thing they wanted back then was some paper. That's all they was interested in, making some money. So motherfucker like me, man, they didn't give a fuck about me. Because we had a couple blacks in the area anyway. We had Brickhouse Brown. You had Coco Beware. You had, that's a damn shame. I just named 2 or 3 of them. That's it. Who else was down there then? I can't really think right now. There weren't too many African American or blacks or whatever you want to call it. They weren't too many of us down there. But every other night, I would hear that word come out of Jerry Lawler's mouth. I would hear it come out of Sid Vicious' mouth when he first came in later on. See, I didn't care nothing about none of them motherfuckers. By me being so green, you know what I'm saying? I'm green as hell shit. I don't know a wristwatch from a wristlock because I never did go to school. I never did go to school until later on. After about 6 months, I was in the territory. I got on this fucking steroids. I got on the fucking dope. I got on every fucking thing you can name. The first year, this is the honest truth. The first year, I went from 175 or 180 to about 280 pounds. And I was still playing a manager. I was running from people. You know how the manager play the old coward ass role. So I'm running from people and this and that. And Jerry called me to the office. He said, Reggie, I'm going to have to do something else with you. I said, okay, sir, whatever you want me to do. I said, what you want me to do? He said, I want you to come to Nashville and start training to see can you, take some bumps and this, because you is bigger than my whole fucking crew. That was his exact words. You is bigger than my whole fucking crew. By that time, like I said, I done gained 100 pounds. And when he told me that, man, I went to school for about 2 months. And they threw my ass in the fire. Like I still said, they know a wristwatch from a wristwatch. But back to him with Jerry Lawler, Lawler was one of the smartest, and still is, and don't get me wrong, one of the smartest, intelligent men out there. But you know what? He a fucking dick. He was a dick back then. He's still a fucking dick now. I ain't no sense of me, trying to sugarcoat shit, because I got a lot on my brain, man. I just put out 5 shoot DVDs. They are available anytime y'all want to see them. And when I tell you, I'm talking about every motherfucker was in the territory from 33 years ago up until now. Because don't get me wrong, I ain't throwing nobody under the bus, but I'm throwing myself under the bus. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna shit on nobody that ain't, they didn't have it coming. Let me put it like that. See, back then, you were job scared. You didn't have, like I said, 1 or 2 blacks. You scared as a motherfucker. You sitting over in the corner like a church house mouse. You know what I'm saying? But if I know what I know now, man, I'd have hurried up and told that motherfucker where to get off at. You know what I'm saying? Cause that shit they were doing back then, bro, that shit wasn't cool at all, man. I'm telling you, man. Now I can get deep, I can stay shallow. You know, I can dig a 6-foot hole or I can dig a 2-foot hole, especially on Jerry Lawler. I like Jerry Lawler a lot.
What about Cornette? Did you ever hear of him using those kind of words?
I never was around Cornette. Be honest with you, I was around Jim Cornette maybe 4 or 5 times when he came to Memphis wrestling. Other than that, I wasn't with Cornette, man. I couldn't tell you. Don't nobody like him, I heard. I'd heard everybody talk about his monkey ass, you know, from this wrestler to that wrestler. But Jim Cornette remind me a lot of me now, you know, from back then. Because, see, I say anything, I don't give a fuck what I say now, as long as it's the truth. I ain't going to lie on nobody. But Jim Cornette is the same way back then, I heard. So I never really got on. I heard he was Lawler used to, what he used to call him? Kind of like Jeff Jarrett was, born with a silver spoon in his mouth. You know, that's what I heard back in the day. But like I said, I never had a lot to do with Jim Cornette, you know, for just being around him. But I don't know fuck about him. I know a lot of people talk about him.
I think one of your old friends is on here. Johnny Rotten says, do you remember traveling with me and Kong and the stink bombs at the Mid-South Coliseum?
Johnny Rotten. Yeah. Wasn't that the guy that used to be with Sid? Big dude used to be with Sid?
Possibly.
Yeah. That name sounds, but you got to remember, man, I hadn't seen none of these guys. We went off of TV in 2011 when Corey Macklin was doing something. I think right before he passed, he had a TV station now. I think it was Memphis something. I can't hardly remember, man. You know, when you've been in this shit for 30-some years and been bumping for all the years that you've been in the game, man, you get a little fucked up in here. I might walk in the kitchen right now and go in the refrigerator, and 5 minutes later, I done went right back in the motherfucker looking for something I looked for 5 minutes ago. I can't, man. Some of this shit I can remember, and some of it can't. But this shit here helped a little bit.
Johnny's back. He says, no, brother, I was Leatherface, and then I was Bruiser.
Leatherface and who?
And Bruiser. That's what Johnny Rotten says he was.
Brother, please charge it to the head, not the heart, man. I can't hardly remember none of that shit back then. Now, probably by face, I probably could remember him, man. You know what I'm saying? By face, I could probably remember him.
Rob Steele wants to know if you ever worked the Moondogs.
I'm about to put this shit down. Have I ever worked the Moondogs? Fuck. Yes. Have I? Man, Moondog used to beat the fuck out of people, man. Even the job guys didn't have a chance. They liked me because, you know, I was a man. Now, when you're the man, they look out for you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Moondog, Larry Layton, Cujo, it was about 3 or 4 of them. And they was crazy about me. But when they go in the ring, I don't think I can tell you, boy, if you don't fight, you better throw it. If they spud you, you better spud them back. That's all I can tell you. Because I used to see Larry Layton beat the fuck out of people, man. Woo. Did I work the Moondog? Fuck. The Moondog was my worst enemy. If you go on YouTube, y'all can see a lot of my shit on YouTube that where I have some matches with the Moondogs and yeah, the Moondog, yeah, them motherfuckers. That's all I can say. They was rough. I was there that night. I was on the same card that night that Larry Layton, the Moondog, original Moondog, when he had that heart attack and died in the ring. I watched it.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched it. That was a little. That brought you back around, back to reality. You know what I'm saying?
There was probably no paramedics at the show in those days either, I imagine.
They had to call them. They had to call them. They got there pretty quickly though, and they did what they did. And you know, once they put them in the back of the ambulance, I can remember it like it yesterday. When they put them back in the back of the ambulance, and Lawler said, "Well, yeah, he breathing now. He breathing again." But he come to find out he was breathing through the machine. He wasn't breathing on his own. They had him something hooked up. But yeah, I can remember that like it was yesterday, man. He just sit over in the corner. He was selling. You know, he always been the type of guy. Punch, kick. I probably worked him 100 times. And he used to tell me in Brickhouse, just punch, kick me here. Larry Layton would go down in the corner, you know, in the turnboat, just sit there and sell, you know, and shit. He wasn't moving. I wasn't in the match with him. I was just in the back looking. And I said, something ain't right. I'll call you back, Mom. My daughter called me.
Rob Steele wants to know if you could share some memories of The Godfather.
Yeah, I know a couple of things about Big Man. When he first came to Memphis, I think, I'm not mistaken, I think that was Mark Henry. I thought I had to pick him up from the airport. Yeah, but I remember The Godfather, man. You know, we used to, do our little thing back in the day, smoke a joint or two. Matter of fact, I used to ride with him. I remember a lot of shit, and that's coming back to me. He was, what was he when he first came to Memphis? They had another gimmick on. They brought him in from New York and put a gimmick on him.
Wasn't Papa Shango, I guess.
No, it wasn't none of Papa Shango. It was
Kama Mustafa?
Yeah, Kama. Yeah, I think that was the gimmick they put on him when he came to Memphis, called I used to ride up and down with him on the highway. Only thing we had to do, he had a pickup truck. I never forget this shit. Only thing we were listening to was country ass music. No, but country music. He have a big wall in his fucking mouth, spitting all over. He wasn't no real talkable guy. I'm just showing him the territory. So I say, I'll ride with you, bro. And I remember him not playing nothing but country ass music. I said, man, I cannot take this shit. I said that to myself, because he's a big motherfucker back then. Now I wasn't gonna say nothing out of the way to make him mad and, put me out on the highway. That's all thing we were doing. Ding ding had a big ass cowboy hat on. I remember that too. And and all day I can remember was ding 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 ding, and then just spitting in a fucking cup. I couldn't stand that shit. Yeah, that's the only thing I can remember about the guy. Other than he didn't steal my gimmick. New York put that gimmick on him. I'm the first pimp. I'm the first motherfucker ever walked to the ring with white holes and black holes on my elbows and this and that and that and this. They stole that gimmick from me. Bruce Pritchard, monkey ass. Because that cocksucker never did like me. Because, I was never a wrestler. I used to talk shit and swallow spit all the time. So I'm going to tell y'all people something. Y'all may not know of Reggie. Y'all might know about Reggie B. Phine. Some of y'all might have heard about me. But I'm the originator of the pimp and the people champion. So I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Even Charles should tell y'all this. I'm the first motherfucker that ever came to the ring with a fur coat on. First for the dude down at WCW. And I always had two girls on my elbow at all times. Yeah, I used to be able to do a little slick pimping back in Memphis back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm a street man. When it comes to streets, you can't tell me shit. And all the boys back in the day would tell you I'm the first pimp that used to do the pimp gimmick, wear the fur coat, the gold chain. Go look at some of them old tapes. Pull me up on Facebook and YouTube and look at some of that old shit I did back in 91, 95, shit like that. And you'll see who the first pimp was. And ever since they put that gimmick on him, because only thing they ever did, if you think about it, man, only thing they ever did with that gimmick, with the Godfather gimmick, was beat him. They beat him every fucking night damn near. I could have did that shit. I was 6'3", 280 pounds. Shit, anybody can sell. That's all a motherfucker did. Get you a little shine off the top and sell from there. But anybody that, like you said, that knows of Reggie B. Phine, I'm the first motherfucker to ever do that pimp gimmick. They stole that shit from me. They stole that shit out of waste money me. And even I'm gonna tell you something else. I'm gonna get off the subject a little bit. I'm moving up a little bit, but the fucking Rock. Every picture I used to sign back in the day before he even came to Memphis. You look on any of them old pictures of Reggie B. Phine and see what's on the bottom of it. You'll see the people champion. He said, I like that. I like that word, the people champion. And next thing I know, that's what they started calling him in New York. Even when I was up there, man, he said, always fuck with me about this. I'm the people champion. You know what I'm saying? I said, look at here, dude. I don't give a fuck what y'all do or what y'all say. That ain't, I didn't trademark anything, so I don't give a fuck. Y'all just making all the money. Y'all don't give a fuck about no low budget nigga like, low budget like me. So I don't give a fuck what y'all do. As long as I can finish making my money. I made more money than the average wrestler did in this game, especially in Memphis.
How did you come up with the pimp gimmick, by the way? You said you were the first, and I do believe you were the first to portray that. You're telling the truth there 100%. People can look it up. But how did you come up with that idea? Was that part of your real-life persona?
Yes, sir. Back in the day, pimp, ain't no sense in me lying. I used to have 2 or 3 bitches work at the strip club. You know, back in the day, the only thing you can do is just go down there, pick up your money, and you know, go get them and give them something to eat, give them a little food or something. It used to be a strip club in Memphis way back in the day. Anybody from Memphis, Tennessee, they should know it. It's called Bottoms Up. That was right around the corner from the Coliseum. It's called Bottoms Up. I mean, I used to have two of the baddest bitches in Memphis down there. What the fuck I do with my... Yeah, you have two of the baddest. Man, one of the top people. Two of the baddest bitches you could ever want to lay eyes on in Memphis, man. But ain't no sense in me lying, man. Pimping was back then. You know, I'm old school, man. And I believe in you don't have to beat up no woman or make no that's what I'm looking for right here. Make no woman get out there and do nothing for you. But I used to be a cold piece back in the day. I remember one time bitch woke up one morning and told me, Daddy, it's raining out there. I said, it's raining? Bitch, I don't give a fuck if it's raining. Get your shit on, get your ass out there and walk between the raindrops. I don't give a fuck. Just go get my money. I need mine. You know what I'm saying? They thought I was crazy back then, but I never fought no woman. I never did have to beat them up or nothing like that. Cause back in the day, I used to sell a whole cop to a rock. You feel me?
Yeah. Pubert on here has a question for you. He wants to know if there was a wrestler that you thought wasn't going to make it, but then ended up making it, that you've came across over the years.
Yep. Yes, sir. And one of them was Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was a natural. You know, he was a little bitty motherfucker back then, but he picked up on shit so fast. By his daddy had a school. By his daddy had the wrestling school. He got on the job training too. He didn't have to pay no money. And that's one person, he was so little. And that's the only thing used to burn me up back in the day, man. I done gained 100-some pounds. Jeff Jarrett 175, 80 pounds. But you got to put them motherfuckers over. You know what I'm saying? It was a work back then. You know, Jerry Lawler and all them. Yeah, I done put Lawler over so many motherfucking times that I can tell you how many bugs was blowing in the Mid-South Coliseum every Monday night. Every night the motherfucker had me doing a job. Yeah, but Jeff Jarrett, the only one that really surprised me that made it was Jeff Jarrett. I knew The Rock was going to be a natural cause. We were married to him, me and, the wrestling tournament that most of the boys know. We was married to The Rock and Bart Sawyer for about 2 or 3 months. And I knew he was going to make it, you know.
Michael says, how was Brickhouse Brown in real life? He saw a shoot with him where he sounded hilarious, and he's wondering if he's really as funny as he appeared.
Yeah, that's my boy, that man. I get a little, fucked up about that when I talk about Brickhouse. Brickhouse was he gone home now, but I was around him for 33 years. He the one really broke me in this business. We was around each other all the time. But Brickhouse was one of the lionest motherfuckers you ever want to meet. Would give you the shirt off his back and then take no shit from nobody. Cause we started off in this shit, man. Me and Brickhouse used to get so fucked up, man. I didn't get in the gang until like when I was 28 years old, but Brickhouse was already doing this thing, you know. I'm the one introduced him to Primos and the Rocks, and he was just smoking them. Back then, the boys had a lot of powder, you know. Everybody and their mammy come to the building, motherfucker. They doing their shit. But Brickhouse was back to the question, but Brickhouse was one of the funniest man you ever want to be around. But when he got serious, you didn't fuck with Brickhouse. You rather, man, you see Brickhouse Brown in a fight with a bear, you rather help the bear. Because that little motherfucker did not play. And would tell somebody where to get off at too. But I know he used to be bad toward Eddie Marlin, the old promoter. Eddie Marlin used to tell him what to give. He got into it with Doug. I done seen him get into it with a lot of different people, but then nobody fuck with Brick. Him and the Dirty White Boy was one of the coolest motherfuckers you ever want to meet. But Brickhouse was a funny, lying motherfucker. Only way you can tell when Brickhouse telling the truth is when you right there in front of him and it happened. I know my boy, he gone home. I can talk about him. Cause he just like a brother to me. I wouldn't lie to you. I lie for you before I lie to you, bro. Brickhouse Brown wasn't nothing to fuck with, man. I love me some Brickhouse Brown, even though he was wrong with his 2 left shoes. But I used to be right there with him, right or wrong. Because every time he did something, Nigga, when we got in the game, we smoked weed, we drank liquor, we drank beer, we drank wine, we snorted cocaine, we smoked cocaine. Well, I never did hit the pipe. Brickhouse, he used to hit the pipe all the time, but I didn't hit the pipe. I used to primo. I used to put mine in some weed and shit, and same thing, smoking and smoking. I don't give a fuck how you do it. But that's all we did every fucking night. But one thing we didn't do is go in the ring high. Well, I take that lot back. I used to smoke a lot of weed. But for bunch of heavy drugs and shit, I didn't do none of that shit going in the ring. And when I used to take care of all the boys, I was a man. Ain't no sense of me lying. I'm here now. I ain't gonna throw no rock and hide my hand. Motherfucker throw a rock and hide the hand when we get caught. I ain't that man. I ain't gonna do it like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When y'all see my shoot interviews, I got 5 episodes. Y'all need to go check them bitches out. You're gonna see an hour and a half worth of real talk filmed in like 4 or 5 different locations. And everything I'm talking about every wrestler you can name. I promise you, man, if you ask me about any wrestler, 8 out of 10, I can tell you a story. I can tell you a fucking story about them. And it's gonna be the truth. I ain't gonna talk about nobody going home. That's how I really know. You know what I mean by going home, right? I ain't walking this earth no more. I can tell you stories on every motherfucker from WCW, WWF, I can tell you stories on everybody. I don't give a fuck who it is. If you throw me a name out there, I bet you I got a story on them. 8 out of 10 in a hole in a donut. So I know 8 will go into 10 and hold the most donuts. So like I said, Brickhouse Brown, one to fuck with. Coco Beware, one of the men not to fuck with. Cause back then, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, let me bag up a little bit. Get back in that Memphis church. So when I stepped in the hole, they didn't care about three African Americans at one. You know what I really want to say? Everybody know me. They know the words I use all the time, but I don't want to use these words on your show. But they didn't care about like 3 black guys, and the rest be white guys. Be about 20 white guys, 3 black guys. And Coco Beware was one of the main ones, other than Iceman King Parsons, Brickhouse Brown. Didn't take no shit from nobody. You know why? Because they was all on that motherfucking cocaine, on that dope. And you can say one thing to a motherfucker. Well, I didn't see Iceman. Iceman didn't do no cocaine. But he'll smoke a little weed and drink his liquor and whatever. But all the rest of us, and then when it was time for somebody to get their notice, somebody had to go. It wasn't gonna be nobody. It wasn't gonna be no white guy. It's gonna be a black brother had to get the fuck out of there. And then we fighting each other over the position. Who gonna come up next? Who gonna do this? One but 3 of us. And that's one thing I liked it about it. I didn't like rather, excuse me. Then nobody stick together. Because everybody try to feed their family. I wasn't going nowhere. How y'all go somewhere and I'm serving, I'm keeping the promoter fucked up. You wasn't gonna get rid of me. They couldn't go to the hood and get no dope. Shit, I come there with it. I never got caught. I almost got caught one time. It's a funny true story. I almost got caught one time. We were wrestling at the Mid-South Coliseum or somewhere we were wrestling. And I just keep all my dope. I keep it on me because, motherfucker was still back there. Motherfucker go in your bag and all that shit. Motherfucker still back then. But I used to keep all my dope on me at all times. So this day, after we got through wrestling, I had a hat just like this. This is a true story. Some of the guys can remember back in the day. They'll tell you, under the hat, you got a lid. You know that little lid part under here? Under this part right here, this little lid part. I had put about, probably about 15 or 20 rocks I had under my hat, The guy that I gave some to, he had left early and didn't give me my motherfucking money. Soon we got through wrestling, he didn't give me my money. And I said, Lola, where is such and such and such? I don't want to call his name because he gone home. He not here to defend himself. But he gone home. And he said, oh, he just left. He been gone. No, he said he been gone about 10 minutes. I said, ain't that a bitch? So I said, ain't that a bitch? So I had my hat like this. I took my hat. I said, damn. Hit it down on my leg. Man, about 15 or 20 rocks just went all over the floor. I'm on the floor like, picking them up like one at a time, picking up them. And Lola said, what's that? I said, oh man, I'm my sugar pill. He said, sugar pill? You know, I'm a diabetic. I've been a diabetic for almost 35 years. So I take 3 shots a day. But I told him though with my sugar pill, he said, "You must think I'm stupid, don't you? Somebody told me that you were selling dope. Them like some fucking crack rocks to me." He didn't say rocks. He said crack rocks. I said, crack? No, man, I'm still down there picking them motherfuckers up one by one. He said, man, they're like some damn crack rocks to me. He said, get that shit and get the fuck out of here, man. Don't you come back no more. I said, man, you making a mistake, dude. I'm telling you, sugar pill. He said, man, he said, he didn't call me no N-word that night. He said, get your monkey ass. Somebody said something to that term. Get your ass out of here. He said, you fired, and I don't want to see you no more. About 2 weeks later, I'm doing something on the phone ring. Cling, cling. Hello? Reggie, King here. Can you make Jonesboro tonight? I said, yeah, I can make Jonesboro. You know, that's how fast he got over that shit. That's the only time I got caught selling dope. And I know I did that shit for fucking 30 years in the business. Easy.
A long story short, tips you $2. He says, did you ever wrestle outside of the U.S.?
Never. Never been nowhere. Man, he had a lot of haters. A lot of motherfuckers hated on me. I never been a good wrestler. You know what I'm saying? I never been a good wrestler. But man, I got every fucking story that you want to hear, dog. I got every story you want to hear. I had one chance, but one thing I didn't like to fly. You know, I'm from the hood, man. Black people didn't fly back in the fucking 80s, 90s. I didn't get no fucking plane. That's the only reason it stopped me from going to Puerto Rico. Somebody, I think King Mabel was trying to get me to go. He could have got me booked over there. And I said, how long is the flight? He said, oh, it's probably about 6 or 7, 8 hours. I said, hell no. Shit, the first time I got on a plane, it was 30 minutes from Nashville to Houston, and I almost shit on myself, sweating. And I said, oh no, I can't do that. But now I don't give a fuck. I get on one quick now. But no, I never did go out to the U.S., brother.
Danny Jacob, one of our The Hannibal TV members, asks, do you have any dirt on Bill Dundee?
Not until this year, man. Now you talking about my favorite wrestler? One of my favorite wrestlers? I can give you an hour worth of Bill Dundee if you want it. Hour worth of Jerry Lawler, an hour worth of Dutch Mantell. But Bill Dundee, I love me some Bill Dundee. I talk to him at least once a month. I just got on the phone with him a couple of days ago. But what kind of really disturbed me about when Jerry Lawler had his 50th wrestling anniversary, he was up there, and I had seen Teddy Long say something about on a shoot interview, and he said Bill called him the N-word like 30 something years ago when he was first getting into business. He's called him an N-word in the middle of some town down in Texas, somewhere in Texas. And he said Bill Dundee, Teddy Long was the referee then. And he said Bill Dundee was trying to break him up in the corner. He said Teddy Long said, this motherfucker called me a N in front of everybody. He said, N, get your effing hands off of me. And the whole building went like quiet. And that's kind of, when I heard that, I didn't really believe that shit. So I went to Bill. I said, Bill, did you remember calling Teddy Long the N-word back in the day? Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah, mate. I did, mate, because I was full of that shit. And he always called me mate. I was full of that shit probably. And, you know, being young and arrogant, like every other promoter was back then, they used that word real loosely. He told me about a lot of people that used to say that word. And so I went around the corner. They were signing autographs and everything. Bill was on one end, Teddy Long was on the other end. So I went around there and got Teddy Long. It's a true story. I went around there, it's about 2 months ago. I said, Teddy, come here for a minute, man. He said, what is it, brother? I said, I want you to come and go around the corner with me. So I took him around the corner where Bill Dundee, because Bill up there a little bit. He's 77 years old. His mind is coming and going. You know, they say he can be with you for 30 minutes and don't know who he is the next 10 minutes. But, you know, it's come with, age. But I took Teddy Long around there and I said, Bill, you got something you want to say to this man right here? He said, what, man? I said, I heard you call him the N-word like 30 years ago. He said, yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I remember saying that. I said, don't you think you owe this man an apology? With no hesitation, Bill Dundee said, Teddy, I'm sorry. Would you accept my apology? And Taylor said, yeah, no problem, Bill, no problem. Shook his hand and went on back around the corner. But that's the only thing that I can tell you that I heard about Bill Dundee that I didn't like. Other than that, that man can do no wrong with me. I love me some superstar Bill Dundee. Now his retarded ass son, that crazy motherfucker Jamie. Whew, that's a horse of another color right there, brother. Now you need me to get on him.
That would be a good interview to record you talking to Jamie for a few hours.
You won't want to hear that. I'll be every N in the book. You hear me? He'll call me in about 100 times. And I can't do but laugh. Because he back then he was smoking that crack like a motherfucker, man. I used to get his whole check every week. I get his money. That son of a gun, man, would smoke all day long if you give it to him. And every word came out of his mouth was the N-word or white MF. You know, there's something wrong with that boy. But nobody fucked with him because he was so little. And everybody know that he was fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody, he used to call Brickhouse the N-word. He used to call me the N-word. He called everybody the N-word. But then nobody messed with him. I heard he was in WWF and called Kim Shamrock the N-word. But he was fucked up on them summers and, you know, boy, we got to get that interview. I can get that done. We got to get that done one day, man. Oh, I talked to him about 2 months ago, too. I'm surprised he even made it. I'm surprised a lot of these guys out of USWA, out of Dallas, that made it through this drug thing, man. Cause brother, that's another subject right there. Next time you get me on this motherfucker, I'm gonna tell you if you bring me back. I got some shit, man, that like I said, brother, one of they made it through this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of motherfuckers went home fucking with the pills and cocaine and, you know, steroids and all that shit. But a lot of us made it through. And thank the Lord you looking at one. I quit, man. When I quit smoking crack and drinking liquor and beer, I don't drink or nothing. Every now and then I may, you know, hit me a little split or something, you know, to try to keep the bugs off me, shakes off. But all this shit these young motherfuckers got around here these days, this hydro, this loud, this cricket, chronic killer, fucking cooter, all that. You probably smoking that good shit too, see? You probably got some of that good Canada shit, see? I'm about to bring something out.
Here. You can go to a store on any corner and buy it.
What? Oh, that's right. It's legal up there.
Yeah. But Billy Jack Haynes, did you ever run into him? He said that Brickhouse Brown knew about him supposedly killing kids or some involvement in the boys on the tracks, and he said he was close to Brickhouse Brown and he used to be a big time drug dealer. Is there any credibility to those Billy Jack stories?
I don't know, but I met Billy Jack one time. I used to see him in the studio. Don't get me wrong. I used to see him at the Channel 5 wrestling place all the time. I speak to him. Him and Brickhouse was just like this. That's the only man I know that came to see Brickhouse when he was dying. Billy Jack was in his apartment. One day I came up. It's a true story. Ask him. He was in that talking. We introduced ourselves again because I hadn't seen the man like about 10 or 15 years. But Brickhouse told me he was the man back in the day. And I also heard from Brickhouse Brown, you know, I don't know if it's a damn lie or what. He said Billy Jack Haynes did not play. He said that man would stretch a motherfucker in a minute. He said he didn't give a fuck who he fight. I guess that's why Brickhouse got different. I guess that's why they real cool. But I heard he would stretch a motherfucker in a minute. Yeah, I met Billy Jack a couple of times. I heard Brickhouse say, yeah, man, this used to be the man right here. Now, since you just said, you elaborated on a little bit, so I don't know. Shit. I never got nothing from him. I always had my own shit.
I see. There's a bunch of, were you in Nacho Libre? That doesn't, okay, some guy has you confused. There is a bunch of people saying you look like Zeus. Do you remember Zeus? He just died.
Yes, I met him a couple of times.
What was he like to you?
Yeah, I met him when he was with, I used to do a lot of security work back in the day with different entertainers. Steve Harvey, you know, Ice Cube, all of them, they came to this one club I was working at, Tanner Lester. Yeah, I met him one time. I took a picture. I got a picture with him, Ice Cube and Ice T somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but we talking about 85, 86. This is before I even got in the wrestling game. Now, Tanner way bigger than me, man. Oh, shit. He way bigger than me. But yeah, I met him one time. Seemed like he's a cool dude, you know. But if somebody say he was just as nice and humble as anybody, you know, this wrestling gimmick. The average, I'm gonna tell you something else what I'm thinking about. The average wrestler ain't shit. You know, that persona got them where you know you they build you up, they put you over, they make you the baddest motherfucker in the world. But if you get them out on the street, I bet you 7 out of 10 won't even fight. Right. Motherfucker won't fight. They would not fight. Say even like Jerry Lawler, that motherfucker sit on the egg and break it. That's how soft that motherfucker is. He ain't gonna fight no motherfucker.
What about Brian Lawler? People are asking about Brian Lawler.
Man, that's another one of my boys, man. I love that man to death, dude. Brian, too sexy, Brian Christopher. The only thing I just hate, man, he got treated so unfair because he was, you know, out there. Be honest with you, he was out there. Everybody know he was out there. And Brian Christopher, one of the nicest men that you ever want to meet, dude. He wore his gimmick 24/7. I don't give a fuck. We was at 7-Eleven, at Walmart, anywhere we went, he wore his gimmick. The nicest man that you ever freaking want to meet, dude. I just hate, after so long, man, Lawler used to talk about him all the time, so long. You know, because he used to do crazy shit all the time. Well, he gone home. I don't really want to talk about all the crazy shit that me and him did over the years. But like 25 years, I was around Brian Christopher almost every week or every other day. We done stayed in the same places together. We done stayed in the same, he done been on my house. He done stayed in my spare bedroom so many times. But I can always think of something funny or something crazy that boy did. But the gimmick just took over, man. Just took over, man. It took over a lot of people back then, man. If he quit doing one thing, he started doing something else. He started doing something else. He quit that. He quit that. It's just like it was a snowball. Now, other than Bill Dundee, Brian Christopher was my favorite person in the wrestling game, other than Brickhouse and Bill Dundee, Iceman, King Parsons. Brian Christopher, like, man, I love that dude, man. One shit he would do for you. He'll give you his shirt off his back. And when they called me, told me what happened, I think Doug, somebody, I don't know, Doug Gilbert, Kevin White, or somebody called me and told me that what had went down. I done heard so many stories, but I try not to elaborate and think about it so much in my mind because it was some foul shit that went down somewhere. But man, I bet you I got 100 Brian Christopher stories I can tell you. But he wasn't like his daddy. He wasn't like his daddy. And his brother, he got a brother named Kevin. He wasn't like them. See, Lawler don't like black women. He'll tell you, I don't want no such and such and such, you know. But Brian Christopher will fuck a black woman. And he got another son named Kevin will buy more pussy than the law allowed from a black woman. They don't want no white woman. Kevin don't. But Brian would talk to a white, but he would knock off a black. I know this for a fact. He would do that. But I was with him a few times. But Lawler, man, that prejudice motherfucker, he'll tell you, I don't want no black woman. I don't want nothing to do with no black woman. I said, okay, man. You know, I was just with another day. Only reason I really want to talk about this motherfucker is the shit that he been fucking me for the last 35 years. I ain't talking about literally fucking me, but, you know, a whole lot of shit that used to go down, Lawler be behind 80% of it. I did the 25th, the 50th anniversary for him. You know, he had a lot of people on the card. He said, yeah, I'm gonna put you on the card. You come on down and see me and such and such and such. You know, I live in Dallas. So the day of that show, I drove from Dallas, Texas to Memphis. The day before that show, I drove from Dallas, Texas to Memphis, Tennessee, stayed over one of my son's house, got up the next morning, drove to Jackson. I get to Jackson, they got everybody set up, you know, you got a table here, like a big Comic-Con, you know, everybody got a table. Soon you walked in the big old ballpark. They didn't draw about 1,200-1,500 people, which was good through this pandemic. You know, this COVID-29 shit, a motherfucker. So that was good 2-3 months ago to have that many people in one spot. So when you walk in the gate, you walk through the main gate, you walk in, you got to go to the left, you know, to see everybody. So quite natural with Jerry Lawler, Rock and Roll Express, Kane, Lex Luger, Now listen to these names I'm calling now. Lex Luger, Big Papa Pump, JR, Jimmy Hart. I'm a little fucked up right now. I can't remember everybody. Jimmy Hart, Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. That's the same guy. Then you go around the corner just a little bit on around the corner. You ran into people like the next station would be like Beautiful Bobby Eden, Beautiful Bobby, Bill Dundee, the Boogeyman. I mean, hold on, let me skip the Boogeyman. Doug Gilbert, Tommy Rich. All right, then you start seeing people of color. Way around the fucking back. Like you come in on home plate, you go around on the back, down in the outfield, you see Teddy Long, you seen the Boogeyman, you seen Coco Beware, you seen Reggie B. Phine, you seen Tony Atlas. It may have been somebody in the middle of that, maybe Randy Hill or somebody in the middle of that scenario. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make, everybody was making, getting people to come to their table, taking pictures and all that shit. But I walk around there, got some autographs from my grandson on the white end. Jerry Lawler had so much money in a bag that motherfucker said he been signing autographs ever since 3 o'clock. And the show started at 7:30. He had so much money in his wrestling bag, the little thing that he had his money in, he couldn't even close it. Make a long story short, I watched everybody and their mammy get an envelope. This is what got me pissed off about Lawler. Everybody and their mammy, I watched them. I went down to the dressing room after the the autograph signing and shit closed. So I'm going in the dressing room where everybody else at. I'm watching Burt Prentice. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that fucker. He passing out envelopes. I'm talking about Coco, you name them. Everybody was getting a white envelope, even the guys that even wrestled. So I didn't say nothing. I was just looking. I was just observing shit. I mean, giving everybody they pay. And I know for a fact, like I said, a lot of them older guys are like Terry Funk brother, Dory Funk Jr., all them guys, they didn't wrestle. But I watched them. I sit in that dressing room. I was talking to Doug Gilbert or somebody. I just watched them passing out envelopes. I said, damn, everybody got an envelope but me, So finally, I went in the dressing room. It was Lawler, Burt Prentice, Tommy Rich, all of us was back there talking. I said, damn, dog. Yeah, people getting paid shit. Where the PO at? I'm doing like this. Where the PO at? And Burt Prentice wobbling his fat ass in there. And he said, well, Burt doing all the booking. I said, man, you didn't even put me on the show. And I'm still wrestling. I look better than half of them motherfuckers y'all had on the card. Said, I can still bump a little bit. I try to stay in shape. I can still bump a little bit. He told me, well, you weren't initially supposed to be on this card. Jerry just told me to give you a table. He threw all the heat right on Lawler. And Lawler sitting up there like a fucking stooge, ain't said a word. I said, oh, okay, man. So I done drove all the way from Dallas. I got me a room. No, I got a room that night in Jackson. I had to get a room that night because I wasn't going back to me. I was going to cut across on the other side. So long story short, I'm the only motherfucker that didn't get paid. Basically, that's what I'm saying. And everybody else got paid. I seen envelopes go to everybody. And I said to myself, I said, man, what's up, King? Shit, it ain't like I need it. Shit, I made probably about fucking, probably about 1,500 that night in gimmicks. I ain't talking about no fucking pictures neither. Because I knew who was going to be there. And a lot of motherfucking boys still fucked up on the gimmick. So I made some money, but it didn't have nothing to do with them. I felt like Lawler should have said, so here, Reggie, he go $150 for some gas, or he go $200 for some gas. Because I did that for him. And I probably told him, man, I don't need that. You keep that, man. It's just the idea of the motherfucker to offer me a fucking dime. And I seen him paying everybody else. That's why I said to myself, Lawler don't give a fuck about nobody. He never have gave a fuck about nobody. I remember things he used to say about his own kids and his own people. I remember shit back in the day. I don't want to talk about nobody going home. Like I said, I'm not that type. I'm not no cold-hearted motherfucker. But if a nigga, if motherfucker shit on me, I'm gonna shit on them. Simple as that. And I know for a fact that he could have gave me $100 or something, even just offered it to me. And I've been knowing him for 35 years, dude. And I did so much shit for him and I covered his ass a few times on a whole lot of shit. It's another horse of another color. But man, please don't get me started. So right now, if anybody asks me anything about Jerry Lawler, and I know something about Jerry Lawler, I'm gonna tell y'all. So way I feel about Lawler right now, man, fuck him. Fuck Jerry Lawler. Smart, intelligent man. But he been a dog motherfucker ever since I've been knowing him. Cause we done hung out through the city a long fucking time, man. So man, fuck Jerry Lawler.
Well, Craig Smith wants to know about Miss Texas, who you had a feud with, and he says the feud was very funny.
Yeah, we did. We tripped a long time together. But I like Jackie. I like Jackie, but she did what she had to do. Just like Jazz, Jackie. I helped train Jazz a little bit. I didn't train Jazz, but I helped her get in the business. But Miss Texas was always in the business. But we was 3 women back then, which I'm kind of surprised they ran 3 at one time. They had 3 black women. They had Jazz, they had Miss Texas, they had Sweet Georgia Brown. But Miss Texas will tell you in a minute, see, you can't take nothing from Jackie. That was one bad bitch. When she was wrestling, she just couldn't talk. I used to fuck with all this. I used to make her mad every night. I said, girl, come on, let me squeeze on that ass. Come on, girl, let me hit that right quick. You better leave me alone. I'm going to tell Jerry Lawler, you better leave me alone, Reggie, be fine. I said, girl, sit your country ass down. I should fuck with her like that all the time. I love Jackie. But yeah, we used to have so much fun together. But she wasn't giving no brother no pussy. I bet you that. She didn't like none but white boys. If a brother told you that he fucked Miss Texas, you're lying motherfucker. I believe that. And I don't know what she was doing, before she got in the wrestling game. But the average woman, I ain't prejudiced, I ain't being biased. Now, they got the fuck their way at the top. And you got a lot of guys like that too. Ain't who you know is who you blow. So, but if it took all that for me to get somewhere, I had a chance in WWF. I was up there for 2 years doing jobs. But I don't mean to be, shitting on nobody, but I used to have some fun with her and Sweet Georgia Brown. and what's his other girl named Jazz. I helped Jazz. Jazz got in the game. I got her through the front door in Memphis wrestling. So, but Miss Texas, oh boy, I can call her right now. What shit you want? Fuck, I got a shoot job. I don't want to do no interviews. I don't want to come and do no autograph session. I don't want to do nothing no more. Somebody really pissed her off in this wrestling game because she don't want to be bothered with damn motherfuckers. And I heard through the grapevine, this is what I heard now. You don't like to get shit from the horse's ass. I like to get it straight from the horse's mouth. But I didn't hear her say this, but somebody said, if it weren't for WWE getting her the induction to the Hall of Fame, she didn't even want to do that. That's what I heard now. So I don't know how true it is, Miss Texas. I don't live too far from her.
There's a fan on here, CJ Marshall, that wants to know how you found out the USWA went out of business, and did you ever want to work for Burt Prentice in Nashville?
Fuck no. Fuck Burt Prentice. Fuck, boy. I wish I could say this word I want to say about him. Man, fuck Burt Prentice. Motherfucker ain't never booked me. I remember one time, everybody say he was like a little tutti frutti, but one dude I gave that motherfucker, I had a whole box set of LeBron James rookie cards. There were 15 of them. And I gave him one of them. And he supposed to been doing some booking me somewhere or something, but he never did book me. But all these shows that Burt Prentice has been running for the last 5 or 10 years, Lawler probably told him don't put me on now one of them. That motherfucker ain't never booked me. And I thought being Burt Prentice was all right, but man, fuck Burt Prentice. And when I found out the USWA was shutting down, I think we picked up our last check. Back then, motherfucker picked up, I think I got my check and I owed the company $10. If I'd have known what I know now, man, I'd have been a fucking truck driver or stayed in the hustle that I was in. This game right here, that wrestling game back then wasn't shit, man. You didn't make no money. You tie up about 4 or 5 cars a year, putting 1,000 miles round trip a week on your shit. You think they gave a fuck? Some town we used to go in 30 years ago, motherfucker get a draw, you get a $25 draw? A lot of wrestling, a lot of boys know what I'm talking about. I think it was it may have been a $50 draw. Maybe, yeah, I think it was a $50 or $25 draw. And at the end of the week, I wound up owing them motherfucker $10. Them motherfucker didn't pay no money. I mean, that company, I don't know, we have 2,000-3,000 people in the Coliseum and 8,000 and shit. You might seen $150 check. That's when I first got in the game, which I didn't. I was green. I didn't know shit. You know, I'm just going with the flow. Just listening to what Brickhouse tell me, listening to what Iceman and King Cobra, a lot of them old guys, Coco, because they didn't give a fuck about helping nobody. But back to your question, when I found out the USWA was closed, like I said, I went and picked up my last check. He said, well, man, Lawler, I think Lawler said, hey, man, that's it, man. Contract up or I'm not. No, Lawler said he was not paying no $1,000 a week to run TV no more. You know, Lawler had plenty. I guess he got plenty of money. He got big ass houses. He got every kind of memorabilia you want to see. But I've been on Lawler house 1,000 times. So I know he had the bread. Then he was up in New York making a lot of money. He just said, man, I'm just tired of spending $4,000 a month on this TV. And I'm tired of running this shit. And every time I let somebody do the booking, then I got to come right back up and come right back in and straighten all that shit out. So, yeah, man, that's how I found out about it. So did.
And as far as you've mentioned your DVDs, where could people get these things if they want to buy them from you?
Well, I got a website. It's not quite ready, but you can go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, just hit me up, message me, and I will get them out there. And I'm not trying to bust nobody here, man. I think the dude that put them together had them out there for like $19.99 or something. You know, if you buy all of them, you get a break or something. But it's a whole hour or better with a bonus DVD of me and Brickhouse Brown 5 years ago that we sit down and done. And boy, y'all don't want to hear that one. He talked so bad about motherfucker, it didn't make sense. You know, I was being a little gentleman, you know. But but you can go to YouTube and it's gonna be on my Facebook page. You know, hit me up on Facebook, subscribe to YouTube or whatever you want to do, and hook me up. And I promise you, I ain't gonna make nobody, but I promise you I get it out to you. You know, I think it's $19 plus shipping and handling. And when I tell you, man, you got some shit on there that you ain't think was possible about sex and who was doing drugs and how much drugs I sold, how much drugs I used. And, you know, I couldn't even get to the building some night without motherfucker flagging me down in the parking lot trying to get their shit. But I made a rule, though. I made one rule while I was doing that shit back in the day. Don't ask me for shit until the show's over with. Cause you're not gonna go in that motherfucking be high as a son bitch and you fall over and die. They're gonna ask you where you got that shit from. Reggie B. Phine ain't one gonna be in the middle of that shit. But you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook and hit me and message me or whatever, and I'll get you a DVD out to you. And now when I tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, man, boy, I wouldn't lie to you. How long we been on, man? Cause I'm still on my same little fucking piece, and you went through about 9 of them motherfuckers.
Well, Michael Collins wants to know if you have any funny Dave Brown stories. He thought he was a good commentator.
He was good, but he wasn't nothing like Lance Russell. I love me some Lance Russell back in the day. And when that man went home, but he was almost 90, so, you know, he lived a long time. But he used to tell me, Reggie, one for you, some Saturday mornings on this TV show, I wouldn't even come. He used to tell me that you are so, where did you be coming up with all your material? Well, all the Lawler didn't give me. I just come up with just street shit. Like I ate Coco Bird one time. He thought that was the funniest shit he ever seen. You know what I'm saying? He played it. It's on YouTube. Y'all need to go back and look at that. But Dave Brown, man, you know what I feel about Dave Brown right about now? As I think back on a lot of shit. Fuck Dave Brown. Motherfucker, fuck him. So he said some shit to me one time. As I think about it, I was in the Coliseum days. And I did something, I don't know what the fuck I did. I was opening matches 80% at the Coliseum, what you call a curtain jerker. And I got thrown out of the ring and I did something. I think I knocked the bell off of the table or something. And he said, you must don't like working here or something, do you? I said, what? He said, you must don't like working here or something. I said, man, what the fuck is you talking about? You know, he said, he gave me one of them evil eye look, you know, one time. But I never did have no problem with Dave Brown other than that. And then he went back and I don't know if he told Lola or something, but Lola never did say nothing to me about it. But yeah, Dave Brown, we was all right, but I mostly liked it. Corey Macklin was real good. They didn't give him his props. But he got on the job training. He was pretty good. But Lance Russell was the best in the world. I love me some Lance Russell back in the day, man. I think about him too, man. I'm a sensitive guy too, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no cause I'm big and old and you know, I got a soft spot too, man. You know, I help old lady cross the street and then rob her ass once we get across the street, you know, but you know.
That's why the ladies love you so much. And Joe wants to know if you have any nightmare stories.
Danny Davis and Ken Wayne?
I think so.
Oh man, I love me some Danny Davis. Oh, I love some Danny Davis, but man, motherfuck Ken Wayne, man. That motherfucker did about two things to me when I was coming up in the game, you know, when you're green and shit. First, Danny Davis story I got. Danny Davis was so nice to me. He used to try to help me pointers, you know, do this at this time, Reggie. Do this, do that, do that. I love me some Nightmare Danny Davis, man. But his partner, man, fuck Ken Wayne. Motherfucker gone. But the first thing he did to me that I didn't care too much about, you know, back in the day, we always carpool. You know, they used to charge us about 30, 40 cents a mile, whatever you had to pay them to get where you going. You know, just chipping in on gas and everything. When we started drinking beer, I was drinking beer. We headed to Nashville, Tennessee. We headed to Louisville, Kentucky. I never forget that. We had been drinking all fucking day and I got about to Jackson, Tennessee. I said, hey man, pull over, man. Let me take a piss right quick. He could have pulled over on the side of the road. I didn't give a fuck. He said, no, man, I ain't stopping, man. I ain't gonna stop till we get on down the road a little bit. Don't you know that motherfucker drove another almost 100 miles before he stopped? Man, my fucking kidneys were about to burst. I couldn't even hunch over to piss in the back. I wasn't pulling my shit out in the back seat with 2, 3 more motherfuckers back there. You know what I'm saying? So I held it till we got all the way on the other side of Nashville. When I went to stand up and get out the car, you know, you went to stand up like this, man, I couldn't even, my body wouldn't even unlock. And when I did finally get out the car and made it to the bathroom, I thought my motherfucking kidneys, my intestine or something burst on me. Ever since then, I don't really give a fuck about Danny Davis. And another time, not Danny Davis, Ken Wayne. Another time I seen him on the expressway. No, it's another story. Lawler told him to put me over one Monday night. You know, I think we first, second match or something. And, you know, I'm going to let him do his thing, whatever he wanted to do to me, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, they wanted him to do the job. And that motherfucker told Lawler, he said, man, I'm not putting him over. You know, I'm green. I'm just sitting back in the cut looking. You're not going to, Lawler said, you say what? He said, I'm not finna put him over. Little old small ass Tony Williams, damn near smaller than me. He did the job for Tony Williams last week. Now, why you want me to put him over? There's one thing I can say about Lawler. He stepped up. He said, look, I tell you what, man, since you don't want to do what I asked you to do, just get your shit and get the fuck out of here. So he went, got his wrestling bag and left out the back door. That was strike 2 on that motherfucker. And another time I can think about Ken Wayne, I didn't really give a fuck about him then. The third thing I seen him, I was on the expressway one day, and I seen he had a nice Lincoln. I knew that car anywhere, but he was out, he had a flat. You can see that blonde hair just waving in the wind, you know. So I said, fuck, I was on the other side of the expressway. So I went down about a mile and came back around and pulled up beside him. I said, what's wrong, dog? He said, Reggie B, what's going on? He said, I got a flat, man. I ain't got no fucking spare. I'm always known to be carrying guns. I've been carrying guns ever since I was a young buck. I started to take that 9mm I had and shoot the other 3 tires and put them motherfuckers on the flat. But I said, no. I said, come on, man. I'll take you. It was a service station right around the corner. I said, come on, man. I'll take you around there and get you a tire or whatever you want to do. So I took him to the service station and dropped him off. I went on about my business. I ain't even bring him back. I said, man, I'm in here. I don't give a fuck about Ken Wayne, man. But somebody said he was locked up now. So I didn't hear that straight from the horse's mouth. I heard it from the ass now. But everybody saying it, so I know everybody ain't lying. Say he was in jail for child pornography or some shit. That's what I heard 3 or 4 people say. So I heard he been in jail about 5 or 10 years already. That's something I heard now. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yes, and what you say doesn't necessarily reflect what I say, but this man wants to know, what are your thoughts on doing the Candyman gimmick?
Well, they just don't know. I was the Candyman, if you understand what I'm saying. But Lawler put that on me. It's the first gimmick they put on me after I came out of training. When I thought about that gimmick, I was young and dumb. I didn't give a fuck. You know, I was on TV every week. I thought, you know, you doing this and doing that, but they beat my ass. Fuck the Candyman. Got to go out there and throw candy to the crowd and hug and little snotty nose ass kids and picking them up, smelling like shit. I said, man, I can't do this, man. I think I did that gimmick for a month. I told King, I said, man, you need to find me something else to do, man. I can't do this shit here, man. I ain't no baby face. I was always a villain, a heel, you know. Well, my whole damn near whole career, other than that Candyman shit, man, to be honest with you, I didn't like that shit, dog. I didn't give a fuck about that gimmick, to be honest with you. Fuck a Candyman. I was the Candyman, all right, to the boys.
What about working with a young and green Rock? Kazan wants to know.
Oh, man, Dwayne would listen. He would listen. He would listen to Brickhouse more than he listened to me, because, you know, I was green too back then. But we got about 4 or 5 matches on YouTube. But see, I'm still mad at that motherfucker. He owed me some money. I ain't seen the motherfucker in 20 years, over 20 years. I used to talk to his dad at least once every 2 months, you know, but I ain't heard shit from Dwayne. And I know that motherfucker got so much money. He owed me some money. He need to give me my $50. I want my $50, man. He didn't want like he was broke. He just didn't have the later. I don't know what we was, but she couldn't. We was at a store or something, and he couldn't change no honey, but I had a 50. She said I can change that, and I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I gave that motherfucker that $50 for him and gave it back to him in the next day. Cause he kept money. That motherfucker had a knot of money that fucking big back in the day. So he had plenty of money, and I just forgot to get it back from him. I didn't see him no more or something. I don't know, but I've been telling his daddy before his dad passed for the last 20-some years, tell that motherfucker to call me and tell that motherfucker I want my money. You know, I didn't give a fuck about no $50. But his dad used to tell me all the time, here you, Reggie, I give it to you. I said, nope, I don't want it from you. I want it from his ass. But I love working with The Rock because he was easy to work with. He would listen. He was green as a motherfucker because he didn't know a wristwatch from a wrist lock when he got down there. We were married to them about a month or two. Him and Bart Sawyer, but like I said earlier in the tape, Brickhouse really took that man on his wing. When Brickhouse, this kind of upset me a little bit too. When Brickhouse was going through all he was going through, and everybody was, you know, trying to do shows and, you know, trying to help him get his meds and all this stuff. He went for the Cauliflower Alley Club. I don't know what Brickhouse would be. And I did 2 or 3 benefit shows for him, you know, help him get all this med. But, you know, I always tell people, man, go to the doctor, guys. Get your colon checked. Women's too. I don't know if women got colon, but you know that shit a beast, man. But he never did try to reach out to him and nothing. So that's one thing that kind of pissed me off about him. I don't give a fuck that he didn't you know, he never said nothing to me in over 20 years. How long we in, bro?
Pardon me?
How long are we in? Been in?
We're about 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'll ask the last fan question here from the Love Master 69. What are your thoughts on Eddie Marlin?
Well, as he got older in the game, I had a couple problems out of Eddie Marlin before. He was a redneck racist man too. Ain't no sense of me lying. He was racist too. I heard him told Brickhouse one time, I'll blow your black brains out if you do something. He said, I said, Brickhouse is gonna kick your old ass or something. I said. He said, if you do, I'll blow his black brains out. Yes, he said that. I heard him say that out of my own mouth. He gone home. He can't say nothing about that. But he always been that kind of guy, get on your ass. Hey, if you're being late, if you can't be here in 45 minutes ahead of the show, blah, 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 don't worry about doing nothing. One time he made me go to the ring. He said, get on out there, get on. I ain't even have my boots laced up. Cause I was running late. I ain't even have my boots laced up. So I got a couple of stories about Eddie Marlin. It was, you know, I didn't really appreciate back in the day, but when you green and you don't know nothing, you just let a motherfucker talk to you in a kind of way or say anything they want to say to you, you know. But You know, I ain't got nothing real good to say about him, and I ain't got nothing real bad to say about him, you know. So, yeah, but
Is there anything you want to? Well, you can light that up. Why not?
now I'm already buzzing, man.
All
I'm
right.
trying to remember. You look at my eye tighten up. You can blindfold me with speaker wire, man. Motherfucking so tight.
Is there any social media that you want to plug where people can follow you if they want to look you up?
Yeah, Reggie B. Phine, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Main thing is trying to get these DVDs out here. Got a lot of money tied up in them. If push comes to shove, I get them motherfuckers away. You know what I'm saying? You know, on my Facebook Live, I do a Facebook Live every Monday night. But yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I'm not real smart when it comes to that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know a whole lot about it, but I can figure some of that shit out. Like this right here, we figure this shit out. I don't know nothing about no duck hunter and what's that other one, Twitter and all that old shit. But I can get on some, you know,
I'm
with a
just
little help. I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'll cut a motherfucker though.
I get that, yeah. And to close this off, this question has come up a lot today. They want to know if you could share a ring rat story before we close this up here.
A ring rat story. Oh, shit. There was so many back then, dude. Woo, let me see what the worst one. I think the worst one that, well, who was the worstest ring rat? Damn. We used to have one back in the day on the black side. Her name was Pat. We used to call her Pat the Rat. You know, that motherfucker would try to get in any hole that she could. I think Brickhouse wound up fucking her. I think Iceman, everybody fucked up with me. And she used to be at every, I don't give a fuck where we went, man, Nashville and Jonesboro and everywhere back in the day. She used to show up at every fucking, and there's another girl that crazy about Jerry Lawler. Let me talk about. She should be at every fucking show. She just didn't know Lawler didn't give a fuck about her. And she would buy crowns and $100 worth of pictures and crowns and all that shit. And Lawler didn't give a fuck about her. I can't think of her name. Now, for the black girl, now for the couple of white girls I know was rats. I think they wound up getting into business some kind of way. This one girl, I can't think of her name. That what was that girl name called? You know, sometimes you look up, you think the bitch on the car, then you see them so much in the same building that you've been in for the last 3 or 4, 5, 6 years. They be at the building just as much as you do. I cannot think of her name, but man, she used to be all over that motherfucking building. Yeah, by faith, when you say rats, I don't know if you're talking about the one that the boys wind up marrying and all that old shit. I don't know nothing like that.
It's all good. Well, we appreciate your time. To wrap this up, you're a promo master. Do you want to close us off with some type of promo?
Let me give you a promo right here. I can always tell y'all people something, one thing. When you hear Reggie B. Phine speak, I'm going to speak the truth. The gang is sold, not told. You know, I lie for you before I lie to you. So any kind of time, anytime, any place, like my boy Brickhouse Brown say, bring it on, suckers, because there's going to be some thumping, bumping, some suckers upside their nappy ass head. Wake up Uncle Leroy, shake Mama Sue. Wait till Reggie B. Phine get through, because I'm a pimp, not a wimp. I'm a player, not a bricklayer. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if you live in Austin, you live in Boston, Chicago, Idaho, Maine, Spain, Atlanta to Savannah. I'd have been all over the world pimping these hoes. So anytime y'all got a couple girls y'all want to put on the block, or you young thugs out there want to know some pimping, I want to get you some of this good dro, I got the dro. I got Coke Speed of weed.